Max and family decided to go out to the Washington coast to a small town called La Push. And before we go any further, let it just be known here that no vampires were caused to sparkle in this video. Our trip starts at the Edmonds Ferry Terminal, just a little north of Seattle, and we'll take the Spokane ferry across to Kingston, where we'll begin our trip over the top of the Kitsap Peninsula and stop for lunch at Port Angeles, and then move on to points beyond, including Lake Crescent, a brief stop in Forks, which didn't get videoed, and on to La Push. If you're in Port Angeles and you want to go across the Strait of Juan de Fuca to Victoria, British Columbia, you can take the Black Ball ferry line. We have a video where we show you the Black Ball coming into the harbor right in Victoria. I'll link to that in the description. Just across the street from the Black Ball ferry line was Bar Hop Brewery, where we stopped and had some lunch. It has a nice patio on the back where Max could hang out. They had excellent pizzas and a good selection of beer and ciders. If you're driving from Port Angeles to the Forks and La Push area on Highway 101, up over the top of the Olympic Peninsula, you will drive right by Lake Crescent. It's the second deepest lake in Washington State after Lake Chelan, and it's gorgeous. The Quileute Oceanside Resort and RV Park has an assortment of different kinds of accommodations with beach access to what's known as First Beach, including rustic cabins, oceanfront two-bedroom apartments, and oceanfront Studio King apartments, as well as the kind of one-bedroom cabins and large studio cabins that we stayed in. It also has quite a few slots for RVs and tent sites as well. So as you can see, there's quite a view, right Max? Quite a view, right Max? Yeah, Max thinks it's quite a view. Got a view from the tub, big jetted tub right on the corner here with a beautiful view of the Pacific Ocean. Here's the bathing area, and everybody wants to see a toilet, right? So that's what the toilet looks like. It has a gas fireplace, which we have not figured out how it works yet, and we may not need it. It's pretty warm in here. The outside is a little bit chilly, it's a little bit windy, and we might get some stormy weather later on, so we are going to go out and walk around on the beach, which is right outside our door. What's that? What's this over here? There he goes. You goofy. Max is a goofy head. Midori and I have been living in Washington State for almost 30 years now. And even though I was born in this area, this is the first time we've come to Washington's coast on the Pacific. Normally, we just go to Oregon. That's where I met her, and that's where I did most of my growing up. So I'm most familiar with it. But this coastline is gorgeous, and we will be spending more time here. Max think of it? Huh? She can drink. It's fresh. It's not salt. I don't know how clean it is, but it's probably pretty clean. Not clean over here, you knucklehead. Max the beach comber. Combing the beach with his mustache. All right, we are coming up on the major river ford where Max proves whether he could have been a pioneer crossing the mighty rivers on the way on the Oregon Trail. How about it, Max? Are you an explorer? Let's find out. Ooh, fording the mighty river, he did it. Last time he kind of panicked at the edge and had to jump, but I didn't get it on video, but anyway. No vampires. It's the treaty line. So we don't really do the vampire thing. So anyway. This one actually has wheelchair access. It's kind of nice. So we were going to go to Second Beach and have a look at Second Beach, but we discovered no pets on trail, and unfortunately we have a pet on the trail. Max, you're a pet. So we're just going to go down here to this overlook, and I saw on the map there was an overlook for First Beach, which was our beach that we've been showing all along. And this will be a higher level view from a little platform down there. You know where you're going? Yeah, you're right. You're right. You had it right. We're coming up here. Just don't go down there. All right, so can't really see the beach, but that's the beach area, and that island out there, I think Roberts Island? I can't remember now if that's the name of it. I'll have to look that up. Something like that. If it's not right, I'll fix it later.
We had the opportunity to stay in a similar cabin of similar dimensions, just a couple doors down. The views were almost identical, with a nice southern view.
What I initially thought was a television actually turned out to be a small alcove with a ceremonial mask. A nice touch. And it was also called a studio, but it looked a little bit more like a one-bedroom. And there were 2 sliding glass doors taking us out to our little patio. Max is smelling something. Probably this. On the way back home, we stopped by Next Door Gastropub in Port Angeles to get lunch, and it is highly recommended. The food was very good, the service was wonderful, a nice area out front where Max could be. Even if it's raining, they'll close the doors and there's a little area inside, concrete area, that they allow dogs to sit in. So, the original purpose of this channel was to find things to do with our dog, and this is one in Port Angeles. Next Door Gastropub. We'll be back. Of course, we only scratched the surface on our little weekend getaway. There's the Hoh Rainforest, Hurricane Ridge. You could spend literally minutes in Forks. Actually, you could spend a good time at Forks, especially if you like Twilight or if you're into the region's logging history. Definitely, you could move down the coast and go to the Tree of Life. There's a lot of things that we didn't get to for various reasons, and we hope to get back there and maybe create a more full video or just enjoy it on our own. And hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe, and look for more videos from us soon.